Welcome to Farming Aid.
When people dream about starting a profitable small farm, they usually picture big animals, big fields, and big equipment. But some of the most interesting money battles happen at a much smaller scale. What really makes more sense for your wallet, 100 chickens or 15 goats? On the surface, both look affordable, manageable, and full of potential. But once you dig into feed costs, labor, space, time, and real market demand, the story gets a lot more intense. In this video, we are putting two of the most popular small farm animals head-to-head in the ultimate profit showdown. If you are thinking about starting a farm, scaling up your homestead, or just curious which animal truly pays the bills, you are in the right place. By the end of this video, you will see farm profit in a whole new way. Let's start with the basic idea of scale. 100 chickens sounds like a lot until you see them in a single coop and run. They take surprisingly little space. 15 goats, on the other hand, feel like a real herd. They need grazing room, fencing that actually works, and shelter strong enough to handle their size and behavior. From day one, goats announce themselves as serious livestock, while chickens quietly go about their business in the background. That difference in presence often reflects the difference in management intensity and capital investment. The startup cost is usually the first shock. Chickens are cheap to buy, especially if you start with day-old chicks or pullets from a local breeder. Even at higher quality prices, 100 chickens are often still within reach for beginners. The coop, feeders, waterers, and basic fencing can be built affordably, especially if you use recycled materials. Goats cost more per head, and quality matters a lot. Healthy, productive goats with good genetics are not cheap. Add in strong fencing, which goats constantly test, and the initial investment climbs quickly. Feed is where many people assume chickens automatically win, but the reality is more nuanced. Chickens eat less per animal, but 100 mouths add up fast. Commercial layer feed is not cheap, and prices fluctuate. If you are not supplementing with kitchen scraps, pasture, or on-farm grain, feed bills can creep higher than expected. Goats eat a lot more per animal, but they can convert rough forage, weeds, and browse into milk and meat. On land with good natural vegetation, goats can dramatically reduce feed costs in ways chickens simply cannot. Labor is another major factor that often gets underestimated. Chickens are relatively easy on a daily basis. Feeding, watering, egg collection, and basic cleaning can be done quickly once you have a routine. Even with 100 birds, daily chores are manageable and predictable. Goats demand more attention. They need rotational grazing, fence checks, hoof trimming, parasite management, and more hands-on observation. Missing early signs of illness in goats can lead to big losses, both financially and emotionally. Egg production is the heart of the chicken side of this battle. 100 good layers can produce dozens of eggs every single day. That kind of consistency is powerful. Eggs sell easily, store well, and create repeat customers. Many small farms rely on egg sales as steady cash flow rather than big occasional paydays. Goats do not offer that kind of daily product unless you are milking, and milking comes with its own time commitment and learning curve. Milk changes the equation significantly. 15 dairy goats can produce a surprising amount of milk, especially during peak lactation. Goat milk can be sold raw where legal, or turned into cheese, yogurt, soap, and other value-added products. These products can command high prices, but they also require skill, equipment, and compliance with local regulations. Chickens rarely reach that level of value addition unless you branch into specialty eggs or branded products. Risk management is where chickens quietly shine. If you lose a few birds to predators or disease, the operation keeps going. The loss hurts, but it does not usually cripple the farm. With goats, the loss of even one animal can represent a significant financial setback. Veterinary costs for goats are also higher, and mistakes in nutrition or parasite control can spread quickly through a herd. Chickens are more forgiving of beginner mistakes, especially with hardy breeds. Time to profit matters a lot, especially for new farmers. Chickens start producing eggs within months. That quick turnaround is motivating and financially helpful. Goats take longer. If you start with young goats, you may wait a year or more before seeing milk or offspring. Meat goats can reach market faster, but prices vary widely depending on location and demand. The patience required for goats is not a bad thing, but it is a real consideration. Marketing is another area where the difference becomes clear. Eggs are easy to explain and easy to sell. Most customers already understand their value. Goat products often require education. Customers may need convincing to try goat milk or goat meat. That means more time spent talking, sampling, and building trust. For some farmers, that interaction is enjoyable and rewarding. For others, it becomes a barrier. Manure management is an overlooked but important part of profitability. Chicken manure is powerful fertilizer, especially when composted properly. It can improve garden yields, reduce fertilizer costs, and even become a product of its own. Goat manure is easier to handle fresh and is excellent for soil health, but it requires more volume and more labor to move. Both have value, but chickens tend to integrate more smoothly into diversified systems with gardens and orchards. Predator pressure affects both sides, but in different ways. Chickens are vulnerable to a wide range of predators, from hawks to raccoons. Good housing and management reduce losses, but they never eliminate risk completely. Goats are less vulnerable overall, but when predators do strike, the damage can be severe. Losing a goat to predators is not just losing an animal, it is losing months or years of future production. Seasonality also plays a role. Egg production slows in winter unless you use supplemental lighting, which adds cost. Goat milk production is seasonal by nature, tied to breeding cycles. That means income may come in waves rather than evenly throughout the year. Farmers who plan well can balance these cycles, but beginners often feel the stress of uneven cash flow more acutely with goats. Land use efficiency often favors chickens. 100 chickens can thrive on a relatively small area if managed well. Goats need more space to avoid overgrazing and health issues. On limited land, chickens usually offer more profit per square foot. On larger, rougher land, goats can turn otherwise useless vegetation into valuable products. Health management is another critical point. Chickens certainly face diseases, but many issues can be managed with good hygiene and biosecurity. Goats are more sensitive to parasites and mineral imbalances. Learning proper goat nutrition and healthcare is essential, and mistakes can be costly. This does not mean goats are fragile, but they demand respect and knowledge. Breeding adds another layer to the goat side of the equation. Goats can reproduce and expand the herd, creating long-term asset growth. Kids can be sold, raised for meat, or kept to improve genetics. Chickens also reproduce, but hatching and raising chicks at scale introduces its own challenges. Still, the genetic investment per animal is usually lower with chickens. Labor flexibility often favors chickens. If you need to step away for a day, chickens are easier to manage with automated feeders and waterers. Goats are less forgiving. They need regular observation and hands-on care, especially during kidding season. This difference matters a lot for farmers balancing off-farm jobs or family responsibilities. From a cash flow perspective, chickens often provide more immediate and predictable income. Goats offer higher potential returns per animal, but with greater variability and risk. Some years can be excellent, others disappointing. The emotional resilience required to handle that swing is not the same for everyone. Long-term sustainability depends on goals. If the goal is steady side income with minimal stress, chickens often come out ahead. If the goal is building a diversified farm with multiple income streams and deeper engagement with livestock, goats can be incredibly rewarding. Profit is not just about numbers, it is about fit. There is also the question of exit strategy. Selling chickens or reducing flock size is relatively easy. Selling goats can take longer and depends heavily on local markets. This matters if plans change or finances tighten. When you step back and look at the full picture, the battle between 100 chickens and 15 goats does not have a single winner for everyone. Chickens often win on simplicity, speed, and steady income. Goats win on versatility, land utilization, and long-term asset building. The real winner is the farmer who chooses the system that matches their land, time, skills, and personality. In many cases, the smartest move is not choosing one over the other, but understanding why each performs the way it does. Chickens teach efficiency and consistency. Goats teach patience and systems thinking. Both can be profitable, but only when managed with clear expectations and realistic planning. So after breaking it all down, the big question still stands. Who really wins the ultimate farm profit battle, 100 chickens or 15 goats? The truth is, there is no one-size-fits-all answer, but there is a clear way to think about it. If you want fast results, steady cash flow, and a system that is easy to scale and manage, chickens usually come out on top. Eggs sell quickly, the startup cost is lower, and the daily routine is simple once you get into the rhythm. For many small farmers, that consistency is what keeps the lights on. But if you are thinking long-term, goats bring a different kind of power. They turn rough land into valuable products, they multiply your herd over time, and they open the door to higher value items like milk, cheese, and breeding stock. The payoff can be bigger, but it takes more patience, skill, and commitment. So the real winner is not chickens or goats. The real winner is the farmer who chooses the right animal for their land, their time, and their goals. If you match the system to your lifestyle, that is where true profit lives. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more real-world farm battles like this, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below telling me which side you are on, Team Chickens or Team Goats.